expense of what He plans to give you in the next world. So one should not pray for something that comes out of greed. For example, he has Lexus 2016, he wanted 2017. You might pray a lot, Hashem give it to you, but do you really need it? So we should ask from Hashem for our needs. If you want extra, you should also tell Hashem what's the reason for that extra. You're talking with your Abba. Hashem, the house is too small. Every Shabbat I have 10, 15 people. I want a bigger house. Okay, that's for the sake of mitzvah. Hashem will give it to you. But if you ask a mansion because your friend has, he might give it to you. You want it the same, but you're gonna take from what is prepared and ready for you in the next world, and you don't want to have that. Wow. You should. That's the rule is be happy with what you have. Hashem can do great things. I will share with you a story right now. Great things out of this world. What does that mean? We discussed this with Lishama last week, I think. It was a lady in the times of Rabbi Chaim Zunenfeld. Rabbi Chaim Zunenfeld was a great tzaddik, a great scholar. And he was almost, 6-7 years ago. He, one time, was involved in very, very odd, very, very strange story. What happened was, there was a lady that has a store with her husband. They made good money. And she went to the yeshiva in her city, in Hungary. Hungary, is it right? Hungary. And she said to him, Rabbi, this donation I'm giving every month. So someone here, I want you to say Kaddish for those who have nobody to say Kaddish for. What's Kaddish? It's a special prayer. What? So if it's no errors, don't give me this face. I'll put it on disturb.
Yeah, but the Wi-Fi was this was weak.
If it doesn't disturb the broadcast, right? Anyways, so what happened was, it's very interesting. Listen to this. She gave money every month, and the rabbi dedicated one of the students to say Kaddish for all the lost soul and those that doesn't have anybody to say Kaddish for them. Why nobody has to say Kaddish? Because some kids are, I have no words than a disgrace. Their parents passed away. They don't care about Shiva. They don't care about the Yortzeit. They don't care about Kaddish. Kaddish is save the soul from all suffering, especially the first days. The first day. You have to do it for the whole year. And then the Yortzeit day. So she did it. Her husband one day passed away. Business in the store didn't go well. They lost their money. She had to close the store. And what bothered her very much, she felt a lot of pain when she's not able now to give the monthly donation to keep the Kaddish going on. She got to the point she could not give anymore. She has 2 daughters. They need to get married. And she barely provide. One day, she went to the yeshiva after the last payment she could make. And she said to the Rebbe, I beg you, my business, I closed it, for a long time. I made all efforts I could for this to make it enough to give you for the yeshiva, to say the Kaddish. I saved it from the bread I gave to my kids, to my daughters. Now I get to the point I can't do it anymore. Please, I want you to keep doing the Kaddish, and God willing, when I go back on my feet, I'll make sure to give the donation. I'll make it up for what I missed. The rabbi, he didn't know about her situation. He was so, touched by it. And he was overwhelmed by it. So he said, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Of course. They were so happy to see such a woman, old lady with such a dedication to Kaddish, to the lost soul that nobody cares about. She left the yeshiva happy. Now she knows 90% of her problems are away, out of the window. Someone taking care of the Kaddish. Nevertheless, she can. On her way out the stairs, she went out. A great someone with looks like a red rabbi with very nice, handsome face and a long white beard approached her and says, "Shalom." She said, "Shalom. What's your name?" Her name. He asked her about her well-being. And how do you do? And she said, I have two daughters, and I'm doing this and that, and now they have to get married. And then she was a little bit surprised why he's asking all these questions. She said, how old are they? She told them she's over 20, and she need to get married, and I can't really help them. And then they get into conversation, and he says, you know what? I can help you. She said, what do you mean? He took out a checkbook, and he asked her for her name. He put the dates, and he put there a big amount that can help the daughters with weddings and all what they need for a long time. And he signed, and he says, I want to have bring two students that they can witness me signing it, so there won't be any problems. So she went to call two students from the yeshiva. He saw them, he talked to them about what he's doing now. He showed them the check. He showed them the signature and says, he took an extra piece of paper and he signed it again. He says, for you guys to keep, put your name also in it. The two students signed on it. So you for safekeeping. So won't be any problem. And he gave her the check. He said, take this check tomorrow to the bank and they'll give you the money. Okay. They did it. Next thing, she said, this is just a story. It came out of the blue. It's not happening. But I said, what do I have to lose? She went to the bank. She gave it to the clerk. He looks at it. He looks at her. He looks at it again. He says, okay, wait here. It's a big amount. I have to speak with the manager. He went to the manager. The manager see it. The only thing they could hear after that, it's a loud scream and a crash. Boom! He fainted. So they understand there's something that's a little fishy here. They ask her to go to one of the rooms, and they consider it as a fraud. They put a guard there to watch her. After they revived him, and he says, where is this lady? They call her. So please sit down. And he said to her, where do you get this check from? You see the check, you see the date, you see the signature. She explained, she told him the story about going out of some place, there's mentioned yeshiva, that place, and this guy gave it to me. And I have witnesses too. So he told her, if I show you a picture, would you identify this guy? And she said, absolutely. He showed her a picture. He said, this is the guy. He fainted again. Mm-hmm. The reviver says, what happened? He said, this is my father. He passed away 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Ma. And who was signing on this check, on this note and evidence? Rabbi Chaim Zunenfeld himself and another Rabbi Yehuda Greenfield. One of the greatest tzaddikim. This is not a story that someone made up. From the rabbis themselves. And he said, I tell you what happened. Last night, my father came to me in a dream, and he says that he is ashamed. He is ashamed of me because he married a non-Jew woman. He neglected his Judaism, and he never said Kaddish about him, for him. He said, but this lady, she saved me. She saved my neshama. For her dedication, every month, to go to the yeshiva to say Kaddish for all these souls that nobody says. She saved me, a stranger, not you. I told this story to my wife. She laughed at me. 2 hours later, you showing up with this check. And he told me in a dream, she's going to come to you, someone will come to you with the check, give her the money. And that's what happens. Mm-hmm. You can see from here that from Shamayim, someone that passed away 10 years ago get permission to come down, so Hashem wants to give reward to someone. Hashem has no boundary. And you see the appreciation. Mida keneged mida, measure for measure. You're making so much effort for something, you have maybe no benefits out of it. Maybe in the next world, they help you in this world as well. The story ends that, of course, the non-Jew wife of this guy was overwhelmed by it. She started to study and explore about Judaism. Bottom line, she converted to Judaism completely. Informed the Jewish family, become Shomer Shabbat. After this story, everybody become Shomer Shabbat. And he said Kaddish and everything. Can you imagine the reward of such a lady, such a woman in the next world? For many, many other neshamot she took care of. So people wasting their money on nonsense, this game and another game, and then go to Acapulco, Shmakolko, to spending thousands of dollars to see, they don't know what to see.
Yeah, it's true.
This is a bad investment. Invest your money in Torah, in tzedakah, in Israel, and all the good things.
See, I don't know.
It was a hidden message, you said.
There's no shame. There's no shame in that.
Okay, next. 5. It says how many time? What time is it? How long?
Yes. 26 minutes.
Okay. Name of Hashem 26. Go ahead.
One must know that the Blessed One sees his heart and knows whether his trust is perfect and not tainted by the deceit. For if a servant has a master of flesh and blood, he can deceive his master into thinking that he loves him with all his heart, although he really hates him, and elicit favors from his master on the basis of this assumed love. But all this is impossible with the blessed Creator, for he knows the inclination of man's heart and thoughts. He knows the top and the bottom. His belief and his heresy, deceit will not work with him.
You can cheat a human being, flesh and blood. You can show him your smiley face, the nice word you're bothering him up every morning, every day. He can buy it. God doesn't buy it because he knows your nature. And let me tell you, what do you think about a guy that says all the time to everybody, he says, I trust God, everything is from Hashem, I trust God. He's saying it, but he's not believing in it. Do you think it's a sin? Is a problem?
I would
course.
say it is a. It
What
is
kind
a
of a sin
to
is it?
Doubt
I
Hashem.
can't say I trust Hashem. He say it all the time.
Right.
Trust Hashem, guys. If you get trust Hashem, you do this. And he talks about it and screams about it. But deeply in his heart, he doesn't. Nobody knows what is in heart. It's in heart. You just want to say it to everybody. I don't know.
Hypocrisy.
But maybe he's motivating other people also to do that.
So good or bad?
So it
can be
depends,
good and bad.
Depends.
Can be good and bad, you're saying.
Depends.
It's bad.
The rabbi teaches us it's very
Bad.
bad.
Oh.
Do you know why? It says it's a Hilul Hashem, it's desecrating Hashem's name. You know why? Because Hashem protecting and giving to someone that really trusts Him. Now everybody think that this guy, he trusts Hashem, and on the other hand, he suffers, and it's going to take them all down. So you see what happened to the one that trusts Hashem so much?
Oh wow.
Really, he doesn't trust Hashem.
Wow.
So what is he doing? He's playing
Yeah.
this Hashem servant, which Hashem actually will protect and give,
No.
but in the end, it's not really. Hashem will not lie. We're not going to give it to him. Give it to him just because he's saying it. So this is a disgrace to Hashem's name. People will see it and would say, you know what? Actually, trusting God is not it's not a real thing. You see what happened to someone? I know him for years. I never knew anybody that trusts Hashem better than this guy. And see what happened with him. See how he ends up. Who needs this? Hashem said, "This is you desecrating my name. If you don't believe it, don't say it."
That's right.
So, on one hand, you think you can do, you're doing a mitzvah. You're helping other people. No. People will follow you and listen to you if you're following your own words. Some people think, I don't know why I'm talking and people don't listen to me. I'm preaching in my house and I'm rebuking and nobody listens. There's two reasons. One, your mouth is dirty. It says that if someone, his mouth is dirty, cursing, So he